This is part 2 of my Yoga for a Healthy Back series. If you haven't had a chance to take part 1, please make sure you take that before you participate in this part 2. You will need to have today, as always pretty much, towel or pillows or blankets, a strap. Very important that you have something that could serve as a strap. So if you don't have a yoga strap, grab a towel, a long towel, scarves, or even a long belt, because you are going to need that today. Our tuning in posture is going to be a child's pose. I like to place a towel or a blanket underneath my knees. And if you've been practicing yoga and you know that child's pose doesn't feel good for you, then I'm going to give you some options to hopefully make it feel a little better. So child's pose, let me just start with what it is. Knees can be together or slightly apart, with the big toes together in the back. And then we're going to lay down with either our palms stacked like so, or you can have your arms out over your head, or even at your side with the shoulders relaxed. This, as you know, may not be comfortable, so you can take a block and place the block down. There are 3 heights to the block. You have the lowest height, the medium height, and the highest height. So take a moment to feel what's best for you. We are going to be in this tuning in posture for about 5 minutes. And you might already start feeling some uncomfortableness around the tops of your feet. So grab another towel. This is why I have a lot of towels around my space. And I can place a towel at the tops of my feet. Also, it might not feel comfortable for you on your knees, back of the knees. So you can place the towel at the back of the knees. So take a few moments. Use the props best way you see fit so that you can be comfortable in the pose. Come into the pose and let's begin to check in. Check in with your mind, with your body, and check in onto your mat. I would ask you to take these few minutes to let go of any thoughts that are not serving you while you're on the mat. Those thoughts could be thoughts of worry, anxiety, insecurities, whatever they are. Try to let them go at this very moment so that you can truly be present in your practice. This pose, child's pose, it's a wonderful way to also block out what's happening around and outside of you as you attempt to stay centered and focused on what's happening inside of you. With the back rounded like this in a forward fold, you should feel a nice gentle stretch along the back. I invite you now to observe your breath. Allowing it to simply be the way it is without your worrying about trying to fix it. Take another deep, nourishing breath and help yourself come up to seated. You're welcome to keep the towel to pad your knees as we come into a tabletop. Removing any other props, just placing it at the side. Your knees are hip width apart and directly underneath your hips. Your arms are shoulder width apart, either slightly above the shoulders or directly underneath the shoulders. Find what's comfortable for you. Your back is flat, straight, not arched or rounded. The crown of your head is always reaching to the wall in front of you, your tailbone reaching to the back wall. You're pushing your hands into the floor, pressing your upper back up towards the ceiling without rounding. So if you take a look, I'm trying to flatten through my shoulder blades instead of rounding like so. But you also don't want to collapse through the shoulders. So you're engaging the core, that's your back muscles, your abdominal muscles. As you take another deep inhale, move into cow posture with your chest lifted, and this time arch your back, intentionally arch your back as you gently look up. That is an inhale. As you begin to exhale, round your back, look towards your belly button and try to pull your belly button to the spine. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, move with your breath. I'm just simply trying to cue you of when you do inhale and when you do exhale with the movement, but truly move with your rate of respiration. One last time, please. And come to neutral. Now I invite you to move any way that you feel that your body is calling you to. I like to just sometimes make big figure eights and I'm imagining that I'm drawing an infinity symbol on the mat with my nose. So just move any way that your body is calling you to move. And just take a few more breaths to do that and come back to sitting on your heels. I'm going to keep the towel for our next posture. You may want to do the same. Our next posture is a boat pose that's going to help strengthen our core. I like to use the towel to help pad my tailbone. This is going to stimulate the abdominal organs, including our kidneys and our intestines, which all help to improve digestion. But it is a challenging pose for our abdominals, our hip flexors, and our spine. Now let me give you the options. There are stopping points, as I like to call them, so that you can choose which one is best for you today. Every day is different. Some days I feel really strong, and some days I feel really weak. So let's honor that, right? The first option would be to simply place your hands behind you and keep your feet on the floor, but lift your chest and lean back slightly so that if you let go of the hands, you already feel your abdominals doing the work, and your back is working to help keep you lifted. So you can keep the hands behind you like so. This is your first stopping point. The next part would be to lift perhaps one leg at a time. So maybe you hold this for a couple breaths and you switch it to the opposite leg. The level up from that would be to lift both knees, both feet. Calves are parallel to the floor. Spine is nice and long, so we're not rounded. Chest is lifted, sternum is shining up towards the ceiling. But I still have my hands back. Another option would be to grab the back of your thighs. Please notice I'm working really hard to keep my chest lifted and my back flat and my calves parallel to the floor. I'm already feeling a lot of work, but this is, for me, I believe, my stopping point today. I don't even think I can do the full expression, which I'll do it with my hands behind, is the legs straight. Not for me today. So take a moment. We'll go through and try to hold each posture, whichever one you choose, for maybe 2 breaths. And we'll do it 3 times. So take a moment. I already know which one I'm going to do. So let's start with that. You do what you want to do with the boat pose. And let's hold for 2 to 3 complete breaths. Lifting the sternum, shoulders pulled away from your ears. Gaze is forward. Let's say for me that's 3 breaths. I'm going to cross my legs, grab hold of my knees, take a deep inhale and arch my back, and then round. So I'm doing what's called a seated cat-cow, just relieving my spine muscles and twist. These again, I'm offering you this opportunity to do what feels comfortable for you, what feels right for you. Before we do that again, we have to do it 2 more times. All right, back to boat. 2 to 3 cycles of breath. I could let go of my thighs, I think. I'll try. And reach my fingers towards my toes. Shoulders pulled away. Chest lifted. I'm feeling the work absolutely through my quadriceps, through my hip flexors. Another deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. And release. And do this, whatever movement you like, before we do it 1 more time. Last time. Boat. Deep breaths. This is a great time to start to bring our Ujjayi breath forward. Breathing in and out through your nose. 1 more. And release. Remove the props. We're going to stand up now into a chair pose, Utkatasana. So come to standing. Take a look at your feet and bring your big toes to touch. So you've got your feet together. If you're already feeling unstable, a little wobbly, go ahead and bring the feet out so that you feel a little bit more stable. I prefer to have my feet together. Shift your weight into your heels as you press your tailbone back, coming into Utkatasana, chair pose. When you look at your feet, down towards your feet, you actually should see your toes. And you should be able to wiggle your toes and then press the toes right back down. So, tailbone back, weight towards the heels, chest lifted. You can keep your hands on your thighs. You can take the hands and place them across your chest. So each one is going to get a little bit more difficult. Hands on the thighs, across your chest, out in front of you, up by your ears. So let's try those again, at your thighs. I forgot another one. You can bring your hands to your heart center in prayer. You can cross it, bring it out, and bring it up. Today, I feel more comfortable with the arms right out in front of me. Watch what's happening at your lower back. So tuck the tailbone under instead of up like this. You don't want to arch your back. If you're finding that you can't stay in this pose without arching your back, then come up a little bit. Straighten your legs a little bit more. And bring your hands down. But the chest is lifted, your back is flat. Stand up. Shake that out. You should definitely felt that across the tops of your legs and your back as your back is working to keep you lifted. Let's try it one more time. Let's hold for at least 3 full cycles of breath. Make sure your breaths are full, deep, complete. And when we get to the third one, try not to rush out of the pose. Try to stay for the full exhalation. Stand up. Shake it out. You might even want to go side to side. Come back to center, and we're going to come back to the floor. For the next posture, I like to pad my knees. It's a knee down, low lunge. Also, grab your blocks. If you don't have blocks, you could use a stack of books. You could also use toilet tissue or paper towels, rolls of paper towel. So just make sure you have something and place that on either sides of the mat. Come to kneeling. Bring your right foot forward and shift your weight forward a little bit. And when I mean say a little bit, you'll know if you've gone too far by what's happening at your lower back. So if you've come too far forward and your back starts to arch like this, that's how we know. So back off of it a little bit, take the blocks with you so that your back can be neutral. Also, you are not on the kneecap. So this knee, although it's supported, try not to be directly on the kneecap. Try to be at the top of the knee, the fleshy part above the knee, not on the knee tap. Come back into the posture. Remember the heights of the block. I have it right now on the highest height. I might be able to go a little forward, but I still feel comfortable. I feel more stable if I just have the blocks here in front of me at the highest height. And I'm using the blocks just to help balance. I may not even use them at all. I could place the hands on top of my thigh like this. But reminders again, shoulders are pulled away from the ears. Crown is reaching up to the ceiling. You should definitely be feeling this posture, this stretch across the tops of the thighs here. This is quadricep muscles, also through the hip flexor muscles. Working through the back as you're once again trying to keep the back lifted, not rounded forward or even bent forward. Bring the hands back to the blocks if you don't have them there. Walk the blocks in. Bring the knees together and just have a seat for a moment before we move to the second side. Come back up to kneeling. Bring the left foot forward. This left knee, try to see if you can get it to be at a 90-degree angle, 90-degree bend. Moving forward as far as you can without arching your lower back. Placing the hands on the blocks or even at the tops of your thighs. Shoulders relaxed. Deep breaths. Always reminding you about the breath. Sometimes I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but I find myself holding my breath, especially if I'm feeling the stretch very deeply. I find myself holding my breath, so I'm reminding myself to breathe. Come out of the pose gently. Use the blocks to help you come up. Come back to Thunderbolt, which is sitting on your heels. We're going to do that again, and this time we're going to add a twist. So come onto your knees. Bring your right foot forward. Come back into your low lunge. And this time you're going to take your left hand, place it on top of your right thigh, and use your right hand to help you twist. In the twists, anytime we twist, it's important to keep the spine neutral. And you can use the hand to help deepen into the twist, but keep your pelvis squared, facing forward. Pull the shoulder away. Look back over your shoulder if it's available. Another deep breath. Untwist. Come out of the pose. Have a seat, Thunderbolt, just for a moment. Second side. Left foot forward. Come into the low lunge first. Bring the right hand to the outside of your left thigh. And place the hands behind you at your back, even to help make sure that you're lifted. And twist over the left shoulder, looking to the back. If it's uncomfortable to look at the back, just bring your chin over your chest, or even look over the right shoulder. Just relax the head. But attempt to try to look back so we get some twist in the cervical spine as well. Untwist. Come back up. Come to Thunderbolt. Now is the time you're going to need your strap. Remove your blocks. Grab your strap or your towel, whatever you have. Come to lying down on your back. Extend your right leg up. Bend the knee. Take the strap. Place it at either the ball of your foot or towards the heel. Straighten the knee as much as you can without locking out the knee. So this is for me a locked out. I'm going to just slightly bend, so it's a micro bend at the back of the knee, so I'm not hyperextending through the knee. Keep the leg perpendicular to the ceiling right now. If it's available, I realize that with the leg straight like this, some people, if you have really tight hamstrings, you might find that your leg is here. And that's okay. It just means you've got some tight hamstrings that we need to work on, and that's why you're here in today's practice. So don't worry about it. Don't fight it. Just try to get that knee as straight as you can. And then once you've got it straight, See how far you can bring the leg towards your chest without bending the knee. Also, try to keep your shoulders relaxed on the floor. So if you're lifted like this, you need to take the leg further away from your chest so you can relax your shoulders on the floor. And once you have found your edge, meaning the point that you can go without any pain, you can see how it feels if you straighten the left leg and place it on the floor and relax that leg. Right? This is my edge today. I'm going to stay here and I'm going to ask you to stay for at least 3 full breaths. Inhale and exhale, and that would be counted as 1 full breath. It's all right to close your eyes as well so that you can focus into what's happening at the back of the thighs. That's your hamstring muscles. And if you flex your foot, bringing your toes towards your face, you'll also feel the stretch through your calves, your gastrocnemius, perhaps even your soleus. I believe that's 3 breaths. So if you have your left leg straight, rebend it, put the foot on the floor. Release the legs that come back up perpendicular, bend the knee, remove the strap. Straighten the legs, both legs out, shake them out, and I always feel like the leg that I just stretched is somehow longer. It probably is. Walk both feet back in towards your hips, bending the knees. Straighten the left leg. Grab your strap, place it around the bottom of your foot. Keep the leg perpendicular to the ceiling. Straighten without locking. Micro bend into the back of the knee to protect the knees. Bring the leg towards your face as far as you can without bending the knee and without experiencing any pain. Check out how it feels if you straighten the right leg on the floor. Shoulders are relaxed, find your edge, and now let's begin to count the 3 full cycles of breath. Close your eyes. Counting the breaths is a technique used to also help keep you focused. Imagine the backs of the thigh, the hamstring muscles, releasing, relaxing, becoming more flexible. You've completed your 3rd full breath. On the 4th inhalation, begin to release the leg. Walk the right foot in towards your hips. Bend the left knee. Remove the strap. Straighten both legs. Shake them out. And take a moment to feel the difference, if there is any. Now they feel, to me, that they're the same length. Walk the feet back in towards your hips. We're going to do it one more time on each side, holding it for at least 3 to 5 breaths. So go as right away into your edge. You've already kind of checked it out. Make sure what you did on one side, you're going to do on the second side. I'm feeling like I'm a little bit more flexible already. Counting your breaths, please. Once we've completed this posture, we're going to move into Shavasana for something for you to look forward to, and now you can hopefully just focus on what's happening in this posture, not worrying about what are we going to do next. If you've completed your 5 breaths, bend the left knee, place the foot on the floor. You can bend the right knee, remove the strap, straighten both legs, shake it out. Second side. Bend the knees with the feet on the floor. Bring the left knee in, left knee straight up. Bring the left knee in as far as you can, and straighten the right leg if you did that on the first side. I hope that you have already started to count your breaths. Bring the right foot in, bending the knee, placing the foot on the floor. Bend the left knee, remove the strap. Bring the straps to your side, straighten both legs, shake them out. Hug both knees into your chest. Hug them in tight. It feels good for me to bring my chin up towards my knees, so I'm going to do that. Bring the feet on the floor. Walk the feet out as wide as your mat. Bring the arms out to a T and just bring the knees side to side in a windshield wiper motion. Bring the knees to the center. Hug the knees. Actually, just bring them in. You don't need to hug them. Gently lower the knees to your left. Look over the right shoulder. Bring the knees to the center. Gently lower the knees to the right. Look over your left shoulder. Bring the knees back to the center. Hug them in as tight as you want. Full body stretch. Bring the legs together, the feet together. Bring the arms up over your head. Point your toes, reach. Stretch as if you're just waking up. And come to Shavasana. For today, I'm going to place I'm going to place the blocks and a towel and place this behind the back of my knee for my Shavasana. You might want to try that, helping to relieve some tension if you're feeling any in your lower back. Close your eyes. Let your feet relax. Let your entire body relax. Give your body permission to relax totally, completely. Allow any thoughts at all, any thoughts, whether it's what you have to do, what you haven't done, what you want to do, worries, fears, anxieties, doubt, anger, frustration. Let all of those leave you. Use this time to allow your body to absorb the benefits of your practice. Feel the energy running through your body. especially all the muscles that we worked today, that we stretched, we strengthened, all with the intent of developing a healthy spine, a healthy back. It's also a great time to reflect on what you are grateful for. Grateful for the fact that you showed up on your mat, that you took the most difficult step of all by just simply showing up. Be grateful for whatever level you were able to practice the posture. You were able to practice. That's all you should think about. Maybe you're grateful for the fact that you simply woke up today, that the sun came out today, that the stars came out last night. Be grateful for your breath that gives us life. Be grateful to God, to the universe, to the divine, to the Creator, whatever name you give it. For me, my higher power, the name is God. If you're ready to join me as we come out of Shavasana, I like to do that by focusing on taking deeper than normal breaths, allowing my belly to rise up to the ceiling with every inhalation and fall back to the spine with every exhalation. Now just move your fingers, your toes. Now bring larger movement by moving your wrists, your ankles. Moving your head side to side. Hug the knees into the center. Hug them into your body. Bring an arm up by your ear. Keep your eyes closed and roll on to that side that you have the extended arm so that you could rest your head on your arms. You're in a fetal position, hopefully with the eyes closed. Press yourself up, with the head being the last thing to come up. Coming into a seated posture, I'm coming into Sukhasana. Rest your palms on your thighs, either face down or face up in a receiving gesture. If it's comfortable to you, you can take your hands to prayer, pressing the thumbs lightly into the center of your chest. And bowing your head in gratitude, whatever you are grateful for today. I'm grateful that you have decided to spend this time with me in a practice for your healthy back. Begin to bring your hands down to your thighs if they were in prayer. And slowly blink your eyes open. Thanks for joining me for part 2. Part 3 will come up in another week. Have a wonderful day.